Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I thought I'd do a test and I have 4 different resins from Elegem, and the first resin I have here is the Mastercast, and I want to use roughly the same amount of resin, the same amount of pigment, also the same colors, and see how different resins react and maybe make my conclusion out of everything. So like I said, I'm starting with the Mastercast resin. It's a high viscosity resin, a 1-to-1 resin, and I mix just below 100 grams. And I'm starting with the Atlantis. It's a blue mica from Etta Art. Then I have the Midnight Blue. It's also from Etta Art. It's a darker blue color. And yeah, I just struggle to get a little bit out of this little bag. And then my last color is the white. So I first started with 5 drops of the pigment drops in this little cup and 1 drop of the blue. Then I mixed it, and for me it was a little bit too intensive with the blue, and later on you will see it, I add another 4 drops of the white. So the white is very heavy, I need to admit, because there's not much resin in my little cup. There you see that I dropped another 4 drops. But then I thought, okay, I have this white mixed up like this now. I'm using here the high viscosity resin, so I will see how I get on with the lower viscosity resin, but this will come later. But I will also use the same amount of pigment drops. So I'm stirring my colors very well. And for the other 3 resins, I will just mix off camera, but you can be sure I did exactly the same thing. So yeah, I dropped mica into my mold and little particles, so I needed to clean it. And yeah, the 4th coaster mold I need to clean off later with alcohol, so it's cleaned. Anyway, I will start pouring very soon, and I will take my clear resin because I want to achieve a sort of crackle effect at the sides, and I want basically my idea to have the web effect towards the center. So first the clear resin, then I'm taking the lighter blue color, the mica, and I'm just pouring it also around the edge. You see it there. Then I'm taking the midnight blue, the dark blue color, also around the edge. Then I'm taking my clear resin and I'm filling up my mold. And I just needed to scratch out a little bit, but this doesn't matter. I'm sometimes scratching out, especially when I mixed very, very well. So now I'm taking the heat gun because it's quite cold over here and I wanted to pop some bubbles. There were also bubbles trapped on the bottom, so I needed to take a dotting tool just to carefully take care of those bubbles. And then I have here my opaque blue mix with the white pigment drops and with the blue ones, and I'm just pouring also around the edge. Then I still had more space in my mold, and I'm doing exactly the same thing, just pouring around with the Atlantis, and then afterwards with the midnight blue. So, and now my mold is rather full, and I still have a little bit of clear resin in my cup, so I'm taking a little bit to just put into my mold, and I'm mixing some glitter flakes, and the glitter flakes are the Galaxy, Silver Galaxy, I guess, yeah, from Etta Art, and I'm just pouring it into the center. I was not so accurate doing this because this is really a test. So please bear with the final result that the glitter is not always in the center, but this is the reason why. Anyway, first one done. Now the second one, and this is the Ultra Cast, and it's a lot thinner, as you can maybe recognize. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm just pouring a clear rim. Then I'm taking my Atlantis, the lighter blue mica, and I'm pouring around my clear or on top of my clear resin. Afterwards, I'm taking the midnight blue, also the mica, doing the same thing. Just pouring around. Then I'm taking my clear resin, I'm filling up my mold up to the rim. And also here I'm scratching a little bit, you see it, but I mixed it very well. And then I'm taking my heat gun like I did before, because there were also some bubbles. Like I said, it's quite cold over here. And then I'm taking my mixture with the pigment drops and I'm just pouring around like I did before. So as you see, I'm trying to do it exactly the same way. I think I also mixed my pigments in the same way. And now I'm taking the Atlantis mica and then the midnight blue mica. And then I'm taking what's left over in my cup to make the glitter mix. Also again the silver. Just make a big paste because there's not so much resin left. And I'm just putting my glitter in the center. So with the Ultra Cast resin, I'm quite curious what's going to happen, because I mixed my white, the white blue, with the pigment drops very opaque, and the Ultra Cast is a medium viscosity resin. So I'm sure that it will turn out differently than I would normally achieve the web effect, but we will see. Anyway, so the third one is now with the top coat. This is a resin that's mainly used for top coating, as the name says, but it can also make very beautiful effects. So because I also mixed it quite strong with the white pigment drops, I'm also quite curious what's going to happen here. I already achieved in the past a beautiful web effect with this, but like I said, because the white is, or the bluish white is mixed very opaque, I'm very curious if there's a difference, but we will see. So now I'm taking my bluish white, I don't know how I should call it, and again I'm pouring around. And then I'm taking my Atlantis blue again, and after this my midnight blue. And if you are wondering that the resin, the top coat resin, looks a little bit like milky, it's because it's cold and I forgot just to warm up a little bit the resin part A from the top coat resin. But I'm not worried about it because the top coat resin really hardens out in a clear way, in a very, very nicely clear way. So I only forgot to put it like part A into a warm water bath, but this doesn't matter anyway. So now my last resin, and it's the BioCast resin. The BioCast resin is again 1-to-1 resin, and I just mixed just below 100 grams. That's what I did for all the 4 resins. I don't know if I mentioned before about the top coat resin, which was my previous pour. The top coat resin is a 2-to-1 resin. And now the BioCast here, it's 1:1 resin. And again, I did my mica in first. No, first I did the clear, I'm sorry, then the mica. Now I'm filling up my mold, taking all the resin out of my cup. And then I'm taking my heat gun because there were also quite a few bubbles, and I'm just getting rid of the bubbles. And then I'm taking again my bluish white mixture and I'm just pouring around the edge like I did before. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's the same, like I said, exactly the same like I did all the other coasters. And I guess I don't need to explain everything. You see what I'm doing. Anyway, so this is the last coaster with the biocast resin, and I'm so curious what's gonna happen. Also here I put the glitter, the Galaxy Silver, into the center of my mold, and then I just let the resin work. And I will get back to you once all the resin stopped moving, and I will show you how the pouring side is looking, if there are differences. I think there are differences because, yeah, here you see like striations a little bit, if you know what I mean, like for the crackle effect. This is the Mastercast, the first one, the 1:1 resin. That's the Ultra Cast. You see similar effect, but still different. This is a 2:1 resin. There I'm just trying to make a comparison between Mastercast and Ultracast. So high viscosity for the Mastercast, Ultracast is the medium viscosity. Now the top coat, also 2:1 resin, also more from medium viscosity. And yeah, you see the effects are slightly different. And here is the top, the biocast, and this is a 1:1 resin. So I think they are all looking slightly different from each other. And this is now the next day, and I can demold, and I'm starting here with the Mastercast. Then the Ultracast, that's how I pour it. The top coat. And finally, the biocast. And now I'm very curious how they turned out. And look at this. It's a beautiful crackle effect at the sides. And look at the web effect. And this is a technique I really love. Please, maybe, you know, if you are not too happy with the color, please forget about it. I just thought I wanted to go in blue because, yeah, I don't know, I felt like this. And look, this is now the Ultracast. And normally I get a wonderful web effect with the Ultracast. But because I did my white mixture so opaque, yeah, it's just a crackle. And now the top coat resin, and look at this, they are all little dots. And I suppose also that's because the white was mixed quite strong, but I love this effect. This really has something, and I really adore it. And now there is the biocast, and look at this. It's similar to the Mastercast resin, but I think more divine. I don't know how you are thinking, but that's what I'm thinking. So it's a very beautiful test, I think. And now with the final result, you will see again all the differences. And I'm very curious what you think about the test and what you think you like the most from those coasters. And yeah, generally I'm very interested in what your opinion is. So anyway, I love and leave you here. I thank you for watching and take care, guys. Bye-bye.